morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we've got a new Excadrill card to talk about. And anyone that's been following my adventures on this channel will know that I am a rather redonkulous fan of Excadrill. I took Donphan to a top 64 finish in the European part of the Players' Cup, and I absolutely love it. I once kind of went undefeated playing the Metal Excadrill, the one that had the ancient trait that let it attack twice, at a local tournament, but that's not strictly fair or true to say. I did go 3-0 with this Excadrill, but I was also 2 rounds late for the tournament while I was waiting in for a sofa to be delivered, so my actual record was 3-2, and let's say the 3 opponents I beat, at the time I beat them, had a combined 1 win. But I don't care. I still contend that was probably a good deck, maybe. You see, I feel a bit guilty, because I just showed you the new Donphan, and I basically told you it was like Excadrill, but it was a better version of Excadrill. And I feel mean because I love Excadrill. Well, the good news is, as well as bringing in Excadrill's replacement, either immediately or if you really still think Excadrill is better, in September when it rotates, this new set in Japan, this astonishing Volt Tackle set, has also brought us an actual literal new Excadrill. Question is it any good? Now, our translation here comes from the lovely Joe over at Cerebi.net. And if we start off with the basics here, we've got 130 HP, which is, it's what we're looking for from a stage 1. There's a lot of Pokemon that naturally do 120. The fact that we're doing 100 or got 130 is good. Retreat cost of 3 is a little bit too low. It means we don't get to use buff padding for the extra HP. Bearing in mind the really good Excadrill before did let us use buff padding, so cheers for that. We have a resistance to grass, whereas the other one had a weakness, which is kind of cool. But honestly, unless things like Zarude or Rillaboom end up being really good in the future, I don't think it's something we need to get terribly worried about, if I'm honest with you. And then we got a weakness to fire, which is not ideal because of all those welded X running around, which is a little bit sad. Although things like Center Scorch V Max, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't matter whether they're hitting weakness or not. They're going to be getting that one-hit KO. But we do like being a metal Pokemon. No, you're not hitting much for weakness that's relevant, but you do get Metal Saucer to accelerate energy, and you do get Metal Goggles to reduce damage and stop damage counters being dropped. So you know what? Could be worse, not to mention Lucario and Melmetal to reduce damage done to you. But what does it actually do? Well, what we've got here is 1 metal, 1 colorless energy, 30 damage. Discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay, I can get down with this. And essentially, I think that's the hook of Excadrill here. I think the hook of Excadrill essentially is that you sit there and you remove energy while tanking. And I know that 130 HP really does not seem like the tanking kind, but bearing in mind between Lucario and Melmetal and Metal Goggles, you're going to be taking 60 less damage from attacks. So yes, there are a bunch of Pokemon that are going to get one-hit KOs, but remember they've got to get enough energy on there. Something like a Zacian, yes, fine, they will get a one-hit KO, but first they've got to get free energy on, and sure, they've got their ability, but their ability, draw free cards, any metal energy you can attach, but then that ends their turn, so you can remove that energy before they attack. And they've got Metal Saucer, but it only works on the bench, so that's quite nice. And it means, you know, there's only 4 in their deck, so they're going to run out eventually, and if you can trap them in the active, that's even better. And sure, they've got Turbo Patch, and that will attach to them when they're active, but it is on a coin flip, and there's only 4 of them in their deck. And I'm not suggesting you just use this with the first attack that removes energy. I think you also play Crushing Hammer to get rid of an energy on a coin flip. And you also play stuff like Team Yell Grunt to put their energy back into their hand. And what you do is you play like a full-on proper job energy denial deck to make sure that your opponent just has nothing going on here. And would this be a nice time to mention Clefable? Because you see, in Darkness Ablaze, we got ourselves a new Clefable, a very nice Clefable, a Clefable with the ability Prankish. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may put an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon on top of their deck. And of course, do bear in mind that being a single prize Pokemon, you can always use Scoop Up Net here to essentially use that over and over again. So we've got the cards we need at the moment. We've got a route to an energy denial deck. You use Crushing Hammer, you use Team Yell Grunt, you use Clefable, you attack with Excadrill, and you're guaranteeing getting rid of one energy per turn with potentially some others. And you use Lucario and Melmetal in the early game, and you attach a Metal Goggles. And what you end up with here is a Pokemon that is exceptionally hard to take down. Because you're losing a lot of energy, hopefully all of your energy every turn if Excadrill's plan comes to fruition. So what you end up doing is you end up using weaker attacks. Okay, fine, I can't keep the energy on Zacian, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use Duraludon so that I can do 30 damage and start attaching energy to the bench. Well, you're going to be doing nothing. And if Duraludon gets free energy on, they're doing 50 damage, it's a free hit KO, that's not going terribly well. So, these kind of Zacian decks are going to be mucking around trying to use all of these items and flipping coins and getting in and out the active, and that is not an easy way to play the game. Against single energy attackers like the other Excadrill, not easy. But then again, if the other Excadrill is only doing a natural 60 damage, that's a free hit KO, though they are going to be trying to play around with stuff like Martial Arts Dojo, etc. And even single energy attackers, if you get rid of their single energy every turn, sooner or later they are not going to have an energy to attach. There will come a point in the game where they just can't draw in energy. Because you've got rid of enough energy that you can just sit there while they don't draw one. And that's kind of my point here. I am fully aware that I'm a bit of an Excadrill fanboy. I admit that. I'm okay with that. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is the best card ever. I might still give it 5 Wassies because I love Excadrill. We'll see how I feel at the end. But I am going to sit here and tell you that sitting here, getting rid of energy while picking away, while doing a little bit of, just a little bit of tanking, it is very, very good. And the second attack, 2 metal, 1 colourless energy, this is your finisher. Because you see, 30 damage a turn is going to take a while. Against a Zacian, assuming they're not reducing damage in any way, and they probably will be, you're talking an 8-hit KO. So what you do is you chip away, chip away, chip away, and as soon as they are in range of the second attack, then you use a second attack, free energy 130. Now, for what it's worth, 130, we talked at the beginning of the video about the difference between 120 and 130, and how there are a lot of Pokemon that have 120 or do 120. This will get a KO on those Pokemon, and that's rather lovely. And that really is the roadmap for Excadrill. You take advantage of all of the damage reduction tricks that these decks have got, and then you sit there just removing energy turn after turn, doing 30 damage. It's not very much. Obviously, against other damage reduction decks, it could end up being nothing, and that would be a bit of an issue. And then when they've got 130 or less HP remaining, then you pounce, and then you go and get the KO. And I do kind of like this. I do think you've got to go all in on the energy removal, I'll be honest with you. Because there are other metal Pokemon that, well, any metal Pokemon can tank right now. Any metal Pokemon can very easily reduce damage done to them by 60. So it really is the energy denial that is a hook here. And it must be borne in mind, Lucario and Melmetal's GX attack, 1 energy, yeah. Your metal Pokemon take 30 less for the remainder of the game, but it's also worth bearing in mind that if you whack a second energy on there, you also get to discard all the energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So they start off with no energy, and then Excadrill comes in with a significantly easier time at doing the energy denial thing. I'm gonna give it 3 Wassies, but in my heart it gets 5 Wassies. I don't think I can honestly look at this in the same way I looked at the one... No, okay. I cannot look at this in the same way I looked at the one from Cosmic Eclipse and go, I can win tournaments with that. I can win a lot of games with that. That is a phenomenal card. But I do think I can look at this and go, you know what? I can have some fun with this. I can win some games with this. And I can make a deck which I really enjoy playing. And you never know. Energy Denial could come back. and it could be fun. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.